Hey yo, what is going on guys? Cash and Clean here. So for today's video, I just wanted to make a short video on Fluxion over there. Now, I've made videos on Fluxion in the past, but I'll just kind of go over some investment stuff for you guys. Because if you didn't know, I guess if you're more so a returning player, this is the new Luxion. It's, you know, he's a little bit different. You can kind of tell he has a haircut compared to the other Luxion, so that's why it looks a little bit different. But if you're confused about why this is the way Luxion is, then I do have videos covering that. This is the new trial stuff. And if you're trying to get the old Luxion items, they're pretty much in here. But the only issue is you can buy it one time. Apart from a couple other things like this, it says you can craft 5 times, this you can craft 30 times. Need something called venturing signets, these things over here. Anyway, that's besides the point here. So we can't invest with this guy anymore, so if you did happen to save up those items, they probably went up in price, most likely. But we have this guy over here called Fluxion, so there is a limit to how many of these you can buy. So basically, before I even get into all this, there's 1 week of a buying phase, I guess, if that makes sense. You pretty much vote for a specific item, and there is a quest line that kind of takes you through that in case you guys don't know what all this is about. There's a quest line for it. You pretty much vote for an item. You can vote more than once. There is a chance your item makes it in, or there's a chance that your item does not make it in, but they have a ton of items in there, so if you miss something in Luxion, then you can vote for that item. Maybe you can convince other people to vote for the item as well. But this is what it is for this current week. It's pretty similar to the Luxion stuff, so this one's untradeable. So if you don't have it, then it'll be unlocked. If you do have it, then you'll have something like this. And then you have the other items over here. So these are tradable, but there is a limit to how many you can buy. So for example, if I wanted to invest in this fishing rod, as you can see, I can only buy it 5 times until it grays out. And they are pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure that's mainly because of the old scaly boxes, frosty boxes. People just had a ton of dragon coins left around. So this kind of hurts the newer players, but that's not to say that you can't invest. You can still invest. So if you have loads of dragon coins, by all means go for it. But I would highly recommend checking each item on the marketplace, because these items will obviously drop in price because they're entering the market. People are getting them. They want to sell that for flux. So what happens is you pick an item or multiple items. You buy them from the market. Not on day one. I would wait a little bit. Sometimes you'll see more of the item. Sometimes you'll see less of the item. And what you want to do is just invest. So pick up a couple of the items, maybe a lot of the item. And then this is like 3 months, half a year later, then you can consider selling them, because the value of it will go up. People won't need them anymore, but maybe newer players will need these items for mastery, so you can utilize that to profit on your flux. And the thing with this is that you can kind of cycle through items. It's going to take you a long time to cycle, and what I mean by that is, say I just now bought this and I'm going to wait, I don't know, maybe 3 months to sell these. Now the 3 months is just like an approximate, same with the 6 months. These items could come back into Fluxion, and if that happens, then the prices will drop again. It's kind of an RNG aspect, so it depends on if that happens, then you might just have to wait longer. But pretty much, let's just say it doesn't, so 3 months later, the prices go up, and what you want to do is, the next time Fluxion comes around, you want to save up enough flux, or even dragon coins for that matter, if you don't need any more dragons. So don't feel like you're forced to do this, by the way. So next rotation, you buy some of the items, you invest, you wait 3 months later. And then you want to keep on repeating that cycle until your 3 months for the first item comes back, if that makes sense. So that first item, start listing on the market, and then after a while, you can start listing the other items. Now, like I said, it'll take a while until you do this, but you want to invest into these items, and events obviously come around once a month, so you do want to invest in those items if you can. So then you're just going to be in this constant loop of you're just selling all these items, and you can profit a ton off of this. And you might be wondering, if you don't have any space, where do you put it? Well, you can create an alt account, and that alt account can be your vault worlds. So you can create a vault club. If you go to a builder's crafting bench, club worlds, you have something called a vault club card, and it only costs you 5k flux, which you can easily get. So put it on your alt account. You can make 4 vault clubs and 1 main club, and that main club could be the one with your active benefits. And in those vault clubs, you have a club chest and a club officer chest. So you can dump all of your items in there. You can try to keep it organized just so you know where things are. And pretty much from there, that's how you invest. You can sell those items from your alt account, or you can transfer the mounts allies from your alt to your main account. I mean, if you're on console, I guess that would be a little bit tricky, but you can just sell the item on your alt and then just eventually trade the flux over to your main account. You might have to deal with tax, but I guess it depends on the way you do it. But either way, you will be making profit as long as you're waiting and you see the vision, pretty much. If you guys really want to go full on tryhard mode, you can make a spreadsheet yourself on this. So pretty much the item that you choose, you can make a spreadsheet for that specific item, try to alphabetize it, so it doesn't get too confusing on where things are. And you can say how much you spent on the item, and then later on just check the market to see if it went up or down in price, kind of like Bitcoin. But anyway, that is going to be all for today's video. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you're able to invest into some items. Hopefully you don't end up losing Flux. I'm not a Flux financial advisor or anything like that, so, take my advice with, a little bit of grain of salt. But if you guys don't like salt, or maybe you're just not allowed to have salt, then I guess maybe this video might not be for you. So try to stay away from sugar. Diet Pepsi is still not the way to go. Coke Zero, like, just don't even do it. Water all the way, unless you're not allowed to have water, then I guess you can try to have some alternatives. But speak to your doctor, speak to your financial analyst, and you'll be good from there. So either way, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. And I'll talk to you guys later.